Hello, friends. This is Eli from Mystic Circuits coming at you with a little update video. I wanted to give you an idea of a couple of things that are coming up with Mystic Circuits, a little bit of background on what the last couple of months have looked like for us, and also just, say hi because I missed you. So there's a couple of announcements I wanted to get out of the way. The first is that we are going to be discontinuing the assembled 0 HP modular line, and only offering them as kits. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The first is that they're very time consuming for me to build. I I like having them around. I think they're fun. I think they're funky, but man, it's and like building one of them or two or three isn't so bad, but once you have 20 or 30 of these things lined up, it's not even the soldering, which takes a long time, but putting all the cases together and stuff like that. Like, I'm just at a point in my life and in my career where I'd like to be doing less of that kind of tedious work. So now selling DIY kits, you get to do the tedious work. Part of the reason I started the 0 HP line in the first place was to have support for DIY. My first couple of modules, I made them all DIY because I've gained a lot through the DIY community. I wanted to be able to offer my own, give back, help people learn and stuff. But there's some difficulties with designing things for DIY. First of all, it reduces the amount of features that you can add for the full-sized assembled module because you need to make it easy to build. Second of all, sometimes people will build your devices. They do have and it won't work, right? And there's no obvious reason why. And people will send me pictures of their builds. They have an oscilloscope and a multimeter and all the stuff they need to do it. We just can't figure out how to get it to work. It's probably a board issue. I haven't had anything like that happen in a while, but it's just sometimes people build these things and I have no idea why they can't get it to work. And that's, it breaks my heart a little because they spent all this time and energy. They want the module. Instead, they're left with a piece of trash, right? So there's that part of it. And so the 0 HP modules let me really focus on making as simple and easy to build of a device as possible, so that it's like there's really very little that can go wrong. It's the kind of thing that somebody can build as their first DIY project, and it's cheap enough for me that if they really can't get it to work after everything, it's not that bad for me to just send them another kit or whatever. So 0 HPs are going to be DIY only from now on. I'm going to allow the sale of assembled 0 HPs for the rest of the month. So basically, order from now until the end of October, and I'll still have the assembled 0 HPs available. There's a couple of these 0 HP modules with our retailers. After that, you're going to have to build them yourself or find someone to build them for you. I've been doing a lot of work on the DIY documentation and the build instructions, and they are so much nicer than they were before. I have one right here, and as you can see, it comes with instructions in the bag, big picture of the circuit board. This is the sort of like Cliff Note instructions for like if you've built kits before and you just need to know the very basic instructions for what you need to do in order to build these. This will be more than enough to get you there. However, you can see on the back here, I have this other little bag, and then there's a QR code. So if you put that QR code into your phone, it'll take you to our GitHub, which is going to have both the more extensive step-by-step instruction manual for doing your build. So basically, every little detail, multiple pictures written out, trying to make everything as clear as possible without, overloading you with information, but just trying to make it really clear and easy to follow. Instructions for how to build these modules are going to be on the GitHub, as well as updated videos showing the build process in real time, step by step. And those are going to be on our YouTube channel, but you'll be able to get to the YouTube with a link through the QR code, right? Just in the build instructions, basically. So anyways, if you wanna get an assembled 0 HP module, buy through our website until the end of this October 2024, and then after those are done, you can only get them DIY. And we're also going to start selling just the circuit boards again, because it's been a long time since we've done that, and frankly, like, I have more boards than I think I'm ever going to sell. So we'll be selling just the boards for folks that want to try and figure out a way to work it into their own designs, and or do something else more creative, or buy your own parts and save some money, right? So there's that. Second piece of news is that there's a new batch of Anna 2s on the way. The more recent batch sold well enough that it seemed like a good idea to just restock right away. I've kind of been in this limbo with all of my modules where it's like they go out of stock and then they're gone for so long. And it really makes it, I think it makes it difficult. It's expensive to make these modules. So I have to be sort of strategic about when I put things into production and when I don't. So it seemed like there was enough interest and momentum in Anna's, especially without, like there was the 3 hour long video manual, and then there was the Mylar Melodies video, which was fantastic, but it didn't, like, I feel like I have a lot more patch videos in me that will help people understand Anna better. It's a weird module, so it's not just going to click with you right away. There's a lot of fun you can have just patching random weird stuff into it and getting random weird results out of it. But there's also a lot of patches that it's capable of doing with a little bit of guidance that will do like really important tasks, utilities, whatever you need in your patch. So I'm going to be spending some time fleshing out the patch examples. I wanted to do this all before, but I ended up moving both my house and my office over this last year, and it really slowed down the pace of being able to make demo videos. I wanted to do more patch demos for Item. I wanted to do more patch demos for Anna and the move, as well as just various other, unexpected things that came up. Made it harder to focus on that. And now that I'm in my new space, there's a lot more room for making videos. I think you can maybe see there's like a setup. I have my solder equipment and test equipment behind me. I have like background. The lighting, I think, is a lot better in here, and part of that is because I'm able to occupy more space. So I'm hoping to get things dialed in to get to a place where hopefully I can not only release patch demos more regularly, but I'd also love to do some streams and stuff like that, right? If you have any ideas for patch demos that you'd like me to show for Anna, leave a comment below, like and subscribe, that sort of thing. But I'm probably going to start off just going through all the demos that are in the manual. I never realized how time consuming making these demo videos was, right? Like I never knew. I didn't expect when I started this company that I was going to have to learn so much about lighting, and it's come a long way. So last week, people might have seen that I posted some artwork up for sale. I only really mentioned it on my Instagram because it sold out quickly, and I meant to do it on my mailing list and make a post about it on YouTube here, but it sold out quickly. It sold out over a day, right? And what I've been working on is a sort of extension. It'd be hard to get this all in focus, but this is a piece of art made from a circuit board. And it sort of is an extension of the work that I've been doing for my panel art, basically using the techniques that I've learned about making circuit board art. This is going to be out of focus. I'll make a video that's more, specifically showing off these sorts of things when I release more. But basically, I collaborated with another artist on this artwork, and you can see there's the textured purple, right, with some sort of patterns, and then there's the Enig gold I opted for the gold just because it's flatter than the silver, especially in like an area like this, which is just a solid piece of gold. And then the white, and it made it so that I'm able to make this really intricate, bas relief art piece. And of course, because your minimum order quantity is 5 or something like that anyways, I decided to do a batch of 10, selling them as a limited run. When once those ones sadly are gone, right? But me and the artist who collaborated, she goes by Virgin Mary on Instagram. Check her out. She's posting a lot of really cool patches and like prayer flags based on this. It's supposed to be a black hole, and you can see this is the grid of space-time being sucked towards a singularity, right? And the singularity artwork I'm particularly proud of, but I show it to you just because the camera just is autofocus. So that this art sale went well enough that I think I'm going to be doing more of these. I've already had another artist reach out to me wanting to collaborate. I've actually been doing portraits of people as well. So this is a portrait of my mom that I did for my mom's birthday, and a portrait of my dad that I did for my dad's birthday. This is something that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to try and do a more sort of official release where everybody finds out about it at the same time, right? Because it kind of sucks that just people on my Instagram and Facebook found out about it instead of, the wider audience of people that I have on the email list or whoever, people who aren't religiously checking their social media. Anyways, I've been working on that art stuff. That's all going great. One of the other things that I've been working on is the video module that some of you are aware of. It's called Ruins. It's a quad video oscillator, and it's basically done, right? I have ordered the production prototypes for beta testing, and that is the last step that you need to do before you do a full production run, right? Please don't reach out. I all the beta units are accounted for. I don't have any more room for beta testers, but the thing about Ruins is that it's designed to be an affordable video module, a video oscillator, right? The oscillators are sort of the building blocks that you use to start a patch a lot of the time. And they're so expensive, it makes it hard to use as many as you want in order to achieve the effects that you. So I designed this module to use cheap parts when possible, but not skimp on the more expensive ones where necessary, right? And the idea is that, I've been working on this thing since before the pandemic. And I had a working version before the pandemic, and there's just been so many changes. Like the part shortage was a big hurdle, and then everything switched to HD, and I had to do some redesigns there. And then, it's just like, it's the kind of thing where I have no idea how well it's going to sell. So it felt really irresponsible to be putting all this time and energy into this thing that I can't promise is going to put food on my table, right? So now that it's settled, I think things are looking good. I've had a lot of people look at it and say that they think it's ready for showtime, and the beta testing process is going to hopefully flush out the possibility of there being bugs or anything more crucial than that. But yeah, it's about to be beta tested, and my goal for that is to have a Kickstarter that launches around Buchla and Friends, which is in January, right? And I feel bad doing a Kickstarter pre-order kind of situation because I know people in video land have been asked to deal with a lot of that, but for me it's necessary because I need to guarantee that I'm not going to lose this thing, right? Like, it has the potential, I think, to sell really well, but I can't keep a roof over my head with potential, right? I need to know at the very least I'm going to break even on this thing. I think it's likely, but it's also the kind of thing where, let's say the video module has way more demand than I expected, like then I'll just make more of them. it's a good way for me to gauge demand, basically, to have pre-orders and a certain amount of money set aside for it. And then, Kickstarters are also like great for promotion in some ways. So hopefully everything will be settled and a Kickstarter will be launching in June. One last piece of relevant information is that I am pretty much out of iDums and leaves, and all the ones I have left are black. And so if you are one of those people who only uses black modules and you won't buy a module unless they're black, or if you just have been looking at iDum or leaves for a minute now and you feel like you want one, I'd say don't wait, because once they're gone, they're going to be out of stock for a little while. So yeah, if either of those modules are interesting to you, definitely pick them up sooner rather than later. All right, I've tried to do this outro a couple times now, and I think realistically, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you're doing well. If you are interested in either Ruins, the artwork, or Anna, just keep your eyes on this space. I'll be making announcements about all of them. And yeah, thanks for watching.